Shouldn't this world be borderless? It's a question that grows louder as humanity becomes more connected than ever before. Airplanes shrink continents into hours. The internet brings voices from thousands of miles away straight into our pockets. Cultures blend, ideas travel freely, and economies depend on cooperation. Yet despite all this progress, we still live on a planet divided by lines we drew ourselves. Borders that did not exist in nature. Borders that separate people who share the same sky, breathe the same air, and walk the same earth. We often forget a simple truth. We are all born equal. No child chooses the soil beneath their first breath, the passport they inherit, or the political boundaries that determine their freedoms. These divisions are human inventions, not natural laws. A mountain range is real, an ocean is real, but a border is merely an agreement, sometimes peaceful, sometimes violent, written on maps but not on hearts. If we look closely at history, we see that the earth was once a shared home without nations or passports. People roamed freely in search of food, safety, and new opportunities. Today, we call that same instinct migration, and instead of celebrating it, we restrict it, politicize it, and even criminalize it. But migration is the oldest story of humankind. Every one of us comes from ancestors who moved across valleys, across deserts, across oceans, hoping to build a better life. So shouldn't we, as citizens of this world, ask for a planet that recognizes our shared humanity? A world where borders do not decide who deserves safety, who deserves opportunity, or who deserves dignity. A borderless world does not mean chaos. It does not mean losing identity or culture. Instead, it means understanding that culture itself becomes richer when shared. A borderless world means cooperation over competition, compassion over suspicion, unity over division. It means acknowledging that the earth does not belong to any one group. We have shared ownership of everything this world offers. The forests that produce our oxygen, the rivers that nourish our lands, the oceans that connect continents, and the sky that watches over us all. Imagine a world where talent moves freely, where families are not torn apart by visa restrictions, where opportunity is not limited by birthplace. Imagine a world where a doctor from Nepal can work in Germany without exhausting bureaucracy, where a student from India can study in Japan without financial barriers, where a refugee fleeing war can find safety without being treated as a burden. Imagine a world where we celebrate diversity not as a threat, but as a global treasure. Of course, a borderless world is idealistic. But every major human achievement once sounded impossible: democracy, women's rights, universal education, global communication. Humanity advances when we dare to imagine boldly. So perhaps the question is not whether a borderless world is realistic today, but whether it is worth striving for tomorrow. If we truly believe we are born equal, if we believe this planet belongs to all of us, then borders should guide us, not divide us. A borderless world is not about erasing nations. It is about remembering that before we belong to a country, we belong to the earth. And maybe, just maybe, the future will be written not by lines that separate us, but by values that unite us.